Okay, this is the time we're going to do some visitor statements. I'm going to read our little section here, and then we've got a number of statements, which is awesome. The Board of Education welcomes and encourages the participation of its citizens in the business of the school district. There are 2 points in the meeting where visitor statements are scheduled. Citizens are welcome to raise questions or make comments at either one. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual and cannot be combined. Please note the Board of Education will not answer questions or engage in dialogue during the visitor comments. If a person would like additional time to address the board, such requests should be submitted in writing 48 hours before the meeting to the superintendent. Okay, do we have a list of who's going first somewhere? Hector, you help us?
First time attending a board meeting, first time speaking at a board meeting. I'm not.
Welcome.
So my name is Nellie Gonzalez. I've had 3 children already graduate from RB. I have a sophomore student. My concern is how the school is going to look in the upcoming fall. My thing is, with the temperature checks, I expect to have a full day. I answered the survey, all that, but I expect as a parent and as a taxpayer to see a full day. This whole school, this temperature check, this mask mandate, under the Illinois School Code, section 27-8.1, it is only, I want to know, and I know you can't answer these questions right now, who's going to conduct these temperature checks? Because under that code, only physicians, licensed, practicing, registered nurses they're the only ones allowed. So I'm trying to figure out how many of those are you going to have during the arrival time to have that done. And it's also, I spoke to an attorney because this is really getting to the point where this is ridiculous. According to him, it is his belief that unless the student is showing some type of illness, it is not up to the school to just randomly check students. And one more thing, because I'm very upset by this whole thing. Under the Pots and Brain, the laws, when Pots and Brain in 1897, I want to believe, they ruled that governors' administrative agencies cannot set rules for the schools. It is not up to them. This would have to be done by our legislator. Our legislator has not convened and set laws in place. So my thing as of right now, I want to know if a child walks into your building without a mask, how is that child going to be, is that child going to be disciplined? How is that going to be handled? Because I'm telling you right now, I was looking at a school to transfer her out, but I'm not. So I'm right now at this point, I will be sending her to school without a mask. So I want to know what's going to be done, because I need to know how to prepare myself in order to seek legal counsel. I am not going to stand for this. The spread, you go look in Riverside, you go look throughout the community. These kids are engaging, they're being kids. They're together, they're not social distancing, they're having a great time. My kids, when the lockdown happened, tell me how much more time, please. When it happened, my kids were having a mental breakdown. I left the state. It was difficult. My daughter was waking up with nightmares. I refused to allow this to continue. We're hurting our kids. We need to stop this. We need to be their voice. And I will not lay down, and I will not stand by while I let this governor threaten, bully the school districts. There's other school districts that have filed lawsuits against him. He is doing this single-handedly without the legislator. And I'm telling you right now, I am sending my child to school without a mask. This is nothing. This is useless. I have 2 daughters in the medical field. I'm telling you, it's a false sense of security.
Thanks, Janelle. That's 15 seconds if you want to do a
I'm
closing
done.
statement.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Sorry I'm a little nervous. I'm very passionate. Like I said, I've never been to a school board meeting. I've never spoken. But at this point, I'm at the point where I just want to cry for our kids, not only mine, but our children. They're being hurt.
There's a point later in the agenda we're going to cover some COVID information if you want to stick around for that.
Yeah, let me step outside.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would say, okay. Armando, how about if when I give you the hand, it's 30 seconds, okay?
Sure. Thank you. Could you hear me just fine with the mask on? Yeah. Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Armando Venegas. I'm a special educator here at RB. I'll now be reading a statement from the Riverside Brookfield Education Association. The Riverside Brookfield Education Association stands in solidarity with the Black community and against all forms of racism. We support the Black Lives Matter movement in its quest for racial equality, social justice, and police reform. We recognize the murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and countless others as evidence of the systemic racism that still plagues our country. The RBEA will not be complicit in our privilege, and we are committed to stand with our Black community to advance racial justice. Our membership empathizes with the RB community of color. At RB, we strive to foster an environment of acceptance and inclusivity. We vow not to tolerate hateful speech and actions within our classrooms, hallways, and extracurricular spaces. Our curriculum continues to evolve to include the experiences, ongoing challenges, and achievements of people of color. African American history is American history. We encourage students of color to pursue careers in underrepresented fields, such as science, math, and education. To this end, we urge our administration to actively recruit people of color. Our ever-changing demographics require a staff that is more representative of our student body. As we pursue professional development opportunities that address diversity and equity, we challenge our administrators and school board to implement meaningful change that directly addresses racial inequities within the Bulldog community. The RBEA has a responsibility to support and nurture an informed, civic-minded, and engaged student body. We acknowledge that this is an ongoing process and there is much work to do. We are witnessing our Bulldogs take part in protests and demonstrations across our community and beyond. To our Black students and their allies, we hear you, we are with you, and we are proud of you. Injustice for one is injustice for all.
Thank you, Armando.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for allowing us to speak. I'm Dan Bonorigo, math teacher, and I'm currently the RBA president, if you didn't know that. But the RBA Exec Board would like to address two concerning topics that were discussed during the June school board meeting. The first involves the idea of full semester PE waivers, and the second involves changes in graduation requirements and elective requirements. The RBEA would like to know why these board policy changes are even being discussed and what actual benefit our students would realize as a result of these changes. The RBEA opposes the changes the board was discussing for a variety of reasons, but most importantly, these changes do not seem to be student-focused and are certainly not in the best interest of students. At this board meeting and at the August board meeting, you will hear some passionate pleas on behalf of our students, authored by RBA members and read by RBA executive board members, which are aimed to help guide you to make informed decisions if and when this board calls for a vote on these board policy changes. The school board has, in previous meetings, discussed the idea of lowering graduation requirements. When this subject is brought up, we would like the community to know where RB stands compared to other local area high schools. The RBA has compiled an extensive list of area schools' graduation requirements. I have a sample on this page. I have copies for you, but Argo has 22 credits. Downers Grove South and North have 22. Elmwood Park has 26. Fenton has 22.5. Glenbard School District has 23. Hinsdale School District has 24. Lamont has 26. Lyons Township 23. Oak Park 21.5. Proviso East 22. Ridgewood 23. York 22.75. And Morton 20. As far as we know, there is no research that shows that lowering graduation requirements increases the odds of success in the future. In fact, research has shown that academic rigor at the secondary level correlates with lower college dropout rates. Lowering graduation requirements would also seem to increase the inequalities that exist in the education system. Uninformed students may choose to complete the bare minimum number of required courses, but what will their options be afterwards? Other students of means will most likely continue to fill up their schedules in order to remain suitable candidates for admission into selective universities. One of the more recent ideas seems to eliminate the requirements for certain electives in order to allow for a student more choice or flexibility in subjects. On the surface, this may sound benign, but RBHS is not a technical academy or a college. They are not in high school to choose a major. Students are supposed to have a liberal arts experience that exposes them to a variety of subjects. Once again, how do these suggestions compare with other local area high schools? The common theme is that the school board seems to have these discussions without mentioning the true costs and benefits of the students involved. It is difficult for a community member to really understand the conversation because there's a lack of data provided to make an informed decision. Before the school board puts any of these ideas to a vote, we believe the community has a right to know what other area high schools are doing.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Do you provide a copy for distribution?
Dan, can you?
Do you want the copies?
Yeah?
Dan, can you
Sure.
email a copy of the list, please? So I can forward it to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Wendy Kassens. I'm an English teacher and the English department instructional coach. I am on the exec board of RBA. Before decreasing RB's graduation requirements, the RBEA respectfully requests you consider the following. In our experiences with students, many will only take the minimum number of classes required, especially if they do not have the benefit of a family member requiring or encouraging them to possibly take more. Were the number of credits lowered, for example, to 20, roughly 10% of the students would be exposed to 2 fewer credits, which actually translates into 300 instructional hours because of 75 hours per semester. Lowering requirements reinforces a lower set of standards that we then would expect for their education. Requiring students to take more classes increases the likelihood they will be exposed to new material. Counselors often hear students surprised by how much they ended up liking a class they were not planning on taking, but did so to earn the required number of credits or fulfill a required subject. Sometimes a student doesn't immediately sense the impact a class has on their learning and life. Asking students to enroll in a variety of courses challenges them to interact with content they otherwise wouldn't be exposed to without the requirement to do so. In addition, increased knowledge gained by taking a required class can help a student in whichever field they decide to pursue. For instance, the prospective architect gains an awareness of aesthetics by taking drawing and painting, or even a student who decides to go into business and did take speech or acting and directing, all of a sudden understands how to present information in a variety of ways. If fewer credits are required, would students be allowed to graduate after their junior year? With our current requirements, each year about 10 students graduate 1 semester early. With a decrease in required credits, counselors estimate that roughly 10 more students would seek to graduate a semester early, and we're just concerned about what the students do then upon graduation. Because a number of RB students do not necessarily plan on going to college when they enter as freshmen, but then change their minds by senior year. With a reduction in graduation requirements, some students likely would start high school with one intention, and then realizing, perhaps too late, that they don't have enough credits to do what they want to do, and then their path is changed a little bit because they are less admissible and perhaps less successful in college. Ideally, to give an RB student the best chance for admissions and success at the collegiate level, they should enroll in more courses to meet admission requirements. Here are some of the credit requirements for schools RB students often apply to for admission. University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, there are more than 24 recommended. For University of Illinois Chicago, at least 22.5. and University of Wisconsin-Madison is 23.
10 seconds.
Thanks. I appreciate your time. This is my first time speaking for a long time with a mask on, so I'm going to have to start practicing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Lindsey Mina. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Wellness Department. So on behalf of the RB Wellness Department, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to further discuss the ramifications of your proposed changes to our current PE athletic waiver policies. In choosing to expand this type of PE exemption from a competition season to an entire semester, as well as allowing this option for classes 9 through 12 rather than just upperclassmen, you're providing our student athletes a strong disservice. In Wellness at RB, we address all areas of our students' health. We foster a climate of personal growth, improve self-esteem and self-confidence, increase fitness levels, and physical literacy. The ISBE recently reiterated the importance of physical education in schools by stating physical activity can support students' overall health and well-being and help reduce stress and anxiety. Our students need PE to teach them skills which will help them get through the challenges of the present as well as the future. RB offers 18 PE classes with diverse, well-rounded, and incredibly valuable opportunities for our students to gain lifelong skills and routines that benefit their health and wellness. Our classes allow students to explore different aspects of health and fitness they may not know exist, especially as freshmen. We provide students an opportunity to express themselves in dance, leaders training, personal fitness, yoga, mind and body, advanced strength and conditioning, challenge education, freshman PE, and most importantly, our students learn to save lives in lifeguarding. Student athletes most likely became passionate about their sport because someone gave them the opportunity to participate in it when they were young. The Wellness Department offers and allows them the ability to grow and learn new skills which may enhance their sport performance and will build a lifetime of wellness. In allowing students to choose an exemption during the course registration process, as discussed in the June board meeting, we eliminate potential positive experiences that could impact the rest of our students' lives. Allowing students to use allowing freshman students to use a PE waiver exemption would rob them of this opportunity. Unfortunately, many students will choose the path of least resistance, even if it is not in their best interest. Expanding PE waivers offers students this path of least resistance. Most importantly, the ISBE states that a PE exemption or athletic waiver can be used for ongoing participation in an interscholastic athletic program. The wording indicates that an excuse from PE class while participating is occurring. Therefore, students should not be permitted to be in a study hall where they are not active nor educated and not actively participating in sports season. Illinois mandates at least 3 days of PE a week. Athletes who are not in season are not complying with this requirement. Additionally, these students are not able to participate in the mandated fitnessgram testing, which assesses our students' body's health and wellness if they're sitting in a study hall. The RBEA wants our student athletes in our wellness classes to provide modeling and mentoring to other students. We want them to share their knowledge and passion for PE with them. We want to highlight the areas of health and wellness they may not have had the chance to experience before. We want them to understand that PE can enhance and advance their sports performance. We want our student athletes to feel empowered by all the other skills they are capable of executing beyond their sport. We want them to realize that participation in physical education is scientifically proven to improve focus, concentration, and productivity through their school day.
10 seconds.
If RB is truly interested in doing what's best for our student body, we should not expand the athletic waiver exemption policy. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay. Are there any other citizen comments or visitor comments? Okay,